Good morning, everybody. Top of the morning to you. Grab your coffee. We're going to go see the cows. And got a little bit of a surprise over here. You guys see kind of in the corner of the screen right there? Meet Uncle Jesse. Yeah, Daddy. Check this out, man. You guys are going to get to see a little bit more of Uncle Jesse here in the future. But yeah. Just picked that guy up yesterday, and it's a dump truck, farm dump truck. So meet Uncle Jesse. Tell me what you think, guys. Cheers, welcome back to the farm. We are headed over, and the cows are laying down in the pasture up here. So obviously they are full as they can be. Happy Sunday morning. Grab your coffee, and let's go have a little bit of fun. Where we're moving the cows to today, I really kind of toyed with the idea of shrinking the pasture size a little bit, but I didn't do it in the interest of time. For those of you who are concerned, Mrs. Stoney Ridge is still under the weather. She got her flu shot the other day, and we have tested for the nasty bug that everybody is getting nowadays, and she's negative. So just got a little bit of a cold from the flu shot, evidently. I don't know. Pretty odd. I don't know. How many of you guys have ever been sick from a vaccine or flu shot? I'd like to know for sure. I never liked taking those when I worked at the hospital because I knew I was in for a little bit of a cold or kind of feeling rotten. Sometimes it would make me feel that way. So anyway, she's doing okay. I just want to give you guys an update. Welcome to the farm, everybody. My cluttered garage is in the house this morning. Good to see you, buddy. So, if you want to meet Stoney Ridge Farmer, I will be at the Toro booth at the Equip Expo. We'll announce this again. Equip Expo is formerly known as the GIE Expo. It's in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'll be there next Friday at the Toro booth, meeting, shaking hands, meeting and greeting. So if any of you guys are there or planning on going or near Louisville area, that's a pretty cool little expo. It's a green expo, which is all sorts of tools, really cool stuff for the lawn care and mowing industry. Landscaping also too. So tons of cool stuff. Anyway, if you want to meet me, I'll be there. I've had a few people here lately message me, say they're coming to the farm. There is another Stoney Ridge farm in North Carolina, and it's near me. It's about 2 hours from me. If you're deciding you want to go visit me, that's not the place, okay? And this farm is not open to the public yet. So it's something for you guys to know for sure. We are not open to the public. We're not open to the public here. It's just me, and I don't have time to dedicate for folks to come in and visit. So we will open the farm up to the public as soon as I can get the mega shop set up where we'll have a place for people to come and visit and go to the bathroom and do all that stuff. So that's coming soon. But guys, please be advised, if you're Google searching Stoney Ridge Farm, you're going to the wrong place, okay? So if, just so you know, I get a lot of comments from folks saying that we're only an hour and a half from you. We'd love to come see you. You don't know where I am, brother. I want to keep this place pretty private. Eventually we'll open up to the public, but as you can imagine, having onlookers with 800,000 followers, close to 900,000 total followers, that would be a disaster. I'd never get anything done. So anyway, I think Mrs. Stoney Ridge is going to make it, or Miss Stoney Ridge for now, is going to make it. She's doing fine, but she's just not feeling very well. So we've been medicating with a little bit of NyQuil and a little bit of R&R, rest and relaxation. She needs a little bit of rest. So, Herman says, my buddy got a flu shot years ago. He ended up missing 6 weeks of work. Huh. Interesting. I'm not I'm not a huge when it comes to vaccines. I'm down with the tetanus because I need a tetanus shot. Working around all this stuff, dirt and wire and metal and stuff like that. But I don't. This is just me, and I'm still a registered nurse, guys. I just prefer to use my body's natural immunity. I don't know, and I've had the big C twice now, and I know of people that have had vaccines and had it too. I don't know. I don't. You know, there's time will only tell, I guess. With all that, so that's something that people share a lot of opinions on, for sure. I used to refuse my flu shot when I worked at the hospital, and I had a nurse one time, the person that administers the flu shots to the hospital employees, tell me, and this is pretty sad, tell me, oh, so you want to spread the flu to the rest of the hospital? And I said, no, I don't think I'll be spreading influenza to the rest of the hospital. I just don't care to have your shot. So I don't know. I just, it's not my thing. I don't like putting chemicals in my body. I don't know what you guys think about that, but each person has their own mind and can make it up for themselves. And there's no reason to judge anyone else on what they decide to do. There's also, in my mind, no reason why 5 or 6 years ago, a hospital employee wasn't required to take vaccines, certain vaccines, and now they are. So I don't know. And we're not talking about the big C here, because that'll open up another whole huge door of politics, and I ain't going in that door. I did post a video about the big C at some point, and there was a lot of negative sentiment about that. I had Google reach out to me actually and asked me to talk about it, and we did a little video for folks that live a rural country life, and man, I got ripped into. I really did. So I want everybody to be happy and healthy, and I want my animals to be happy and healthy. So that's it. That's my goal. Well, guys, cheers. Beautiful morning here. We're walking up on the cows. We'll turn the camera around, get you a slug of coffee. Now in my hunting shack watching Stoney Ridge. Awesome, Kevin. Awesome. 2 huge bucks were out in the yard late last night. They are pulling up my carrots out in the front yard. It's pretty funny. So here are the cows. I actually got an email from a fella that sells, after our conversation yesterday, I got an email from a fella that raises South Pole bulls. And I think we're going to integrate a South Pole bull into our program here. What's this cow doing? 13.5. She's moving odd. I don't know what that, you see how she's just kind of standing still there? Maybe she was asleep standing up. I don't know. That was a little weird. You guys okay? All right. You guys okay? Look at her. I don't know if she's sleeping or what. Cows sometimes sleep standing up. You okay, girl? You okay? All right. So we got some of the girls that are actually laying down out here. Again, a friend of mine says, never trust a black Angus bull. He's got his alfalfa hair going on today. No reason for others to make people feel guilty for not being vaccinated, says Pamela. Yep. And Farm Fanatic says, I would have quit. You know, in the world of agriculture, in the world of healthcare, and in different worlds, we have different experiences and different cultures. The culture of the hospital was everybody takes a flu shot, and that's it. I just never was a fan of it. I never was a fan of anything being forced to put in my body. And I'd never been so sick in my whole life as when I got my vaccines from the military back in the day. So I had to have like yellow fever, typhoid, all that stuff, and they gave you all your vaccines at the same time. Gosh, I got so sick. Hey, sweetie. This is Sweetie. Hey, girl. You doing all right? You gonna be good to me this morning? There's a big old cow yawn. Okay, so you can tell these guys are pretty chill this morning. Is this the fellow with the foot issue? Potentially could be. So we got one guy with a hurt foot. I don't think it's this one. Good morning. I think that's Butthead's baby. Susie had the first calf this year, and I believe that's Butthead's. Couldn't get an ear tag in it. I wasn't fast enough to catch him. So awesome. Good morning. Morning, Cindy. Morning, everybody. Morning, Susie. Susie has decided that I'm her friend again. Thank goodness. Hey, Carol. Nice cow kisses this morning. She was the sweetest cow, and I made her mad, and now she's decided I'm her friend again. That's so funny. So what we're going to do, we're going to open the gate, and we're going to move the cows over into this paddock right here. Plenty of grass in there, and yeah, should be a pretty simple move this morning. Hopefully we're not chasing anybody. Farm Fanatic says, yep, and now we're finding out how dangerous it is. Do the research on the, you guys talking about the vaccines here. Let's see what Ralph said. Work or sit at home. Years of college to sit at home over a shot. Ralph's Trucking. It's not over a shot, brother. It's over putting chemicals in your body that aren't supposed to be there. So, again, this poses a lot of negative sentiment in a lot of people. But it's like this, man. And freedom is free. In my mind, freedom means you are free. Now, if you think you're free, I'm trying to turn the camera around here and chat with you. Yeah, if you think you're free to live your life the way you want to and to make the choices for your health care that you want to, then should your employer be able to force you to do anything with your body? Right? I don't know. Should your employer be able to force you to cut your hair? I don't know. Right? Should your employer be able to force you to take a shot? I don't know. I have my opinions. Should I be able to tell my employee working for me on this farm that they have to have a shot? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think that's freedom. In my mind, that's not freedom. So, I don't know. And I understand doing what's best for everyone. I get it. I totally get it. However, I don't think I should be forced or coerced into doing anything. In my opinion, that's coercion. If you're forcing someone to get a flu shot. We're talking about the flu shot. We're not talking about any other shot, any other vaccine. Okay, so we're just talking about getting a flu shot. And it just so happens that Miss Stoney Ridge had a flu shot and she doesn't feel very well. So whether those two are contributory to one another, the jury's out, right? Okay, so freedom in my mind is the freedom of choice, especially with your body. So I had no choice when I was in the military, and I took a lot of vaccines. I had the anthrax vaccine, all sorts of stuff back in the day. And then just over time, I've decided that I'm not a big fan of that. Okay, come on. We got some needy ones this morning. Come on, girls. There we go. Come on. Come on, everybody. After having so much trouble yesterday moving the girls, grab my coffee. Idaho is what America was. I got this from a buddy of mine when we went and visited in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So, how many head do you have? Good way to change this subject. My cluttered garage, I dig it. So we're at 33 and a donkey right now. So just took 2 to the butcher. One belonged to Dad, one belonged to me. Yeah, we still got a little limp in that that fella in the back. We're gonna have to run him through the chute and check that foot. He's right back here. He's still eating good. He hasn't lost any weight, but he does have an uncomfortable foot situation going on. Yeah, we're gonna have to so he can walk a certain way and he's fine. I believe he has, I honestly think he has a nail or something in between his toes, and I'm gonna have to get here off camera. Now you see he's not doing bad. Okay, so he's cruising right along with the rest of them, but I'm not a fan of that limp at all. And you saw he just stepped on it a little funny right there. This is going to be a $500 vet bill is what it's going to be, guys. So we have to really pay attention. And let's watch him, make sure he's eating good. That's the main thing. We're going to go over here and kind of check on him a bit. Who does your butchering? Mitchell's in Walnut Cove does ours, says Melanie. Yep, that's who we used this time for our butchering. Let's see that foot, buddy. I can see he's a little swollen. We'll squat down here and see if we can see. His foot's a little swollen. I just need to see the bottom of that foot, little boy. Just need to see the bottom. Yeah, I can see a little something in between his toes. Gosh. Cows never hold still for very long. Yep, that's what I think it is. And this is a young steer that was born on the farm about last September. So he's right at close to a year old. Yeah, didn't get the 19. Will not get it. Alan. Yeah, we're not going to even go there, man. We're not even going to talk about that vaccine because it just makes people angry. So it really does. However, I'm not a fan of the hospital telling me that I had to get my flu shot. So just not a fan. And people say, well, I got my flu shot and I still got sick. Well, the flu shot is basically the most educated hypothesis on what version of the flu will be the version that comes out that year. In other words, what influenza it is. And it's flu shot season. So, you know, if your doctor recommends it, guys, go off your doctor's recommendation if that's what you want to do. It's your choice. All right. These girls, can you hear them munching? Have to get them in the head gate. Yep. Get the foot in hand to pull it. I don't know if it's a nail in his foot or not. I'm going to, as soon as we get off here, I'm going to walk around a little bit more and see what I can figure out. You can tell these girls are happy and fat. I've never seen animals eat as much as these cows. They basically eat 22 hours out of the day. I don't see a time when I look over here and I come check on the cows. There's hardly a time when they're not eating. It's just amazing that these animals can take this grass and turn it into a huge beef cow like that. So pretty amazing to me. If you walk over here, we'll look at the forage a little bit. So we've got a little different forage in this pasture. It's fall. Fall's hit, cold weather has hit. Cool season grasses are starting to take over where warm season grasses once were. And that's why you see a little bit of the brown mixed in here. There's a little bit of broom sedge or broom straw in here. And you can also see, here's an indicator of bad land right here. Eastern red cedars popping up. Okay, that indicates, and along with the broom sedge, that indicates that we've got a low pH situation going on right here in the soil. So the way I'm going to correct that low pH in the soil here is I'm going to break this pasture into 2 paddocks and more intensively graze this. And that way the cow's manure will help to heal the land a little bit more. I rolled out hay bales on this spot where these little trees are. And if you can't see them, there's one there, there's one there, another one there, and another one right there. Eastern red cedars. They just tend to grow in areas of poor soil nutrition. Will this provide shade for the cows? Absolutely. Okay, so am I going to pull them up? No. Am I going to cut them or spray them? No. I'm going to let nature kind of take its course. I'd really like for these to grow up, and at some point maybe some hardwood trees will pop up right in the middle of them, and then we can trim the cedars back and let the cows have a good shade tree. So that's why I'm not mowing this pasture. We're trying to let a few trees kind of take over. I see this little cow crunching, and it's actually eating the berries off the little cow briars. Take it easy, Ed. We'll see you later, buddy. Good to have you in the live stream. Thanks for joining us. Got you guys talking about vaccines pretty good this morning, huh? I have a case of the Stoney Ridge-itis. I'm almost addicted to watching you every day. There's no vaccine for that, Herman. I'm glad you're here. You know, guys, just watching really helps to keep everything going. By the end of a live stream, basically with your contributions and just enjoying and watching the show, it is probably paying for half of a hay bale with every live stream. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you being here, and it really helps. Ziggy, did you attend Homesteaders of America? I did not attend Homesteaders of America. I was out there in Indiana for the Fall Fence Forum, learning about building fences. I would have liked to have attended Homesteaders of America, but it just so happens that it goes on at the wrong time for me. It goes on at the same time as the Fall Fence Forum. So we're going to have a conversation with the Fence Forum guys and see if we can bump that a week. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll have our own little homesteading conference here on the Stoney Ridge farm. It's a little more relevant to what folks are doing. We shall see. The hoof GP could give you some good ideals. Yeah, you know, it's not rocket science with the hoof and what's going on with that calf. Again, it's an injury. It's not a hoof rot situation. It's an injury. So we just got to kind of keep an eye on him. It may clear up. I've had it clear up before. So again, just got to keep an eye on him. Don't see any flies on the cows really now. Colder weather has turned the flies off. We're going to go ahead and block off this section of pasture real quick. Gonna move some fencing. Grab a slug of coffee, guys. Let's take care of business real quick. There's old Wooly Bully. Wooly Bully's looking like alfalfa this morning. All right, I'm having a little trouble keeping my camera pointed in the direction I want it to point. This is the water tank that we did the repair on not too long ago. No leaks, no issues, no problems. You can see that right here. And I just hit this with some good grass seed. So this area right here should recover very quickly. What we're having was a valve leaking issue right in here. It was dribbling over and running down the hill. And that's why you see all this mud. So no more mud. So the cows were just in here. And we're just gonna snatch up our wire and close off the gate. Okay, now I had a little noise I could hear just a minute ago. We'll hook right in there. I could hear the fence popping up here. So we're going to kind of take a little fence walk. You know, not only are we out here checking the wellness of our cows and moving the cows twice a day, but I'm also checking fences twice a day too. Make sure I've got everything squared away like it should be. All right, let's walk up here and take a look. Mystic Mac, you're late. Cow's foot's still doing a little not so good. He's still got a limp. So we're keeping an eye on it. Hasn't affected his appetite. He can still get up, get around, move around, do his thing. So I don't know. I've got to investigate whether I can get a, it's very dangerous to fool with a cow's foot, okay? So I've got to investigate whether I can get a dart gun, a little dart sedative to help these cows, to like put them to sleep, in other words. So dart him, he'll lay down, and then I can address any foot issue that he might have. Got to look into that. I don't know if any of you guys farm, if any of you guys have experienced anything like that, but if you have, let me know. How's your German Shepherds? They're good. They're over there in the dog lot. No problems with doggies. Okay. So I heard the fence popping, and this time of year, we get grass like this that grows up into the fence, okay? So we kind of need to go through with a weed whacker and just go up underneath the fence if the cows don't eat it all off. The next paddock these girls will be into is actually going to be this paddock right here. So that'll be this evening, tomorrow morning, tomorrow evening, Tuesday morning. So we've got a lot of moving to do. Let's make sure we're all squared away for this evening's move so I can just open it up and let the girls in. Welcome, guys. There's a lot of people in here. How much is a hooves trimmer? Well, $5. I mean, but we don't need to trim our cows' hooves typically. So, how do you take your coffee? Black, just black. Don't drink sugar in the morning, okay? Here's how guys, I just lost a ton of weight. We'll tell you how a little bit of how I did that and how it worked. I don't eat. I basically, it's called intermittent fasting, but it's just not eating until a little bit late in the afternoon. I only eat in an 8-hour window, okay? And that's not crazy people diet. I just only eat in an 8-hour window. So from 2 to 10 or from noon to 8, that's when I eat, okay? I do not start my day off with sugar if I can help it. I don't eat a donut. I just don't eat garbage first thing in the morning. I don't eat sweets, sugars first thing in the morning, putting sugar in my coffee. Milk has a ton of sugar in it. So I avoid sugar like the plague, especially for the first meal of my day. So I'm unhooking this fence wire right here real quick. That's how I lost all the weight. So breaking my fast between noon and 2 in the afternoon with a good high protein meal is how I lost the weight. So that and exercise. All right. So the girls will come into here tonight. They'll be right here. I'll open up another section in the morning, and we're going to go all the way around the wagon wheel. I call it the wagon wheel. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back around to the back side of the farm. We need some rain. We need rain pretty bad here right now. It's wet every morning. We have dew on the ground, but we need some rain. It has been really, really dry here. Now, I hear the fence popping. And where it's popping, I'll show you real quick. We're going to go out and check fence lines real quick. I can hear it. So we're grounding out. I'm going to have to come over here with a weed whacker and fix this. Don't shock me. Don't you shock me. Let's walk this fence line. This is the one that I think it's given us the most trouble. Excuse me. Remember? Shaw's Prospecting says, I remember when you started losing weight. What is your feelings on chemical heart test? Like a stress test? You're gonna have to be a little more specific on that. So I worked in the heart unit, in the intensive care unit for 13 years or so. Okay, so I worked on the heart unit, I worked on the post-surgical open heart surgery unit, and I also worked on, here's another issue, I also worked on the medical intensive care unit. So yes, a cardiac stress test. I mean, if your doctor recommends a stress test, then I say, listen to him, okay? That's what I say do. Dad just had a stress test. All right. So here's my issue. That's what's causing the fence to pop. It's right here. We got a bit of a droop or a sag in the fence right here. This is a spot where the cows could probably potentially step right over the fence. Honestly, what I need to do, let's see if I've got a post. Typically, I'll have a post hanging somewhere in here, but really what I need to do is put another step-in post right here to get that line up. So that's something I'll do this afternoon when I come back over here. Constantly monitoring stuff. And guys, you can look at this. It looks a little woolly. You can see these dead plants right here. This is common ragweed, okay? That's common ragweed. The cows will eat the tops out of that common ragweed, and you won't see that anymore. I did not mow this pasture. And as you can see, all around in here, we're starting to recover with good fescue grass. So that's our cool season grass is kicking off. I'll tell you what I've learned by going to multiple grazing conferences and reading multiple books about raising my cattle on grass. What I've learned is you cannot control every weed on your farm. We could get out here and we could spend $10,000 spraying these pastures. But the symptom here, okay, the weeds in your grass in your front yard, the weeds in this pasture, they're all a symptom. They are not the problem. They are a symptom of the soil. Once the soil is right, the weeds won't come in. This common ragweed is in here because there was open land, open soil. Now you don't see any open soil hardly. There's a little bit. Let's get down here. You got to remember these are all new pastures. They've only been grazed for, this is the second year in production. We've got a few little bare spots just like this. Let's show you. See this little guy here? It's just a little bare spot. You see that? Wherever there was a bare spot, a weed came in. All right? Over time, this will systematically change. So next year it's going to look better. The year after is going to look better. Every year is going to look better. I had people from my local co-op come out here and look at the land, and I said, well, what does it need? And the first thing that those guys said, and you guys are going to laugh about this, I'm going to turn the camera around and talk about it. The first thing that was said to me was, oh, you need to spray. Oh, you need to get some spray in here. You need to get some pasture guard. You need to get out here, get some broadleaf killer and some heavy duty tree sapling killers. You know, you got to put some weeds out, weed spray out here. We got to kill all this and making a monoculture. And I didn't spray it. I was like, look, man, there's got to be a better way. Your weeds and your grass and whatever is in your pastures or in your lawn is telling you something. That's telling you you're devoid of a certain nutrient or the pH isn't right. And I am of the school, if you get your pastures right, if you get the mycorrhizal fungi, which helps to support your pastures, if you get it right and you don't hit it with sprays and you don't hit it with fertilizer, you don't kill your earthworms, you've got to give the pastures time to mature. It's just like a baby. This is my baby, and that's how we're taking care of it, is we're letting nature take care of it. And we're letting the cows take care of it. The more the cows eat, the more they pee, the more they poop, the better the soil gets. That's what's missing on the land. Okay, guys? So when you hear me talking about feedlot beef and that your cows at the grocery store that you're buying aren't raised like this, they're not raised like this, okay? And most farmers aren't doing what I'm doing here. Most farms are spraying, seeding, and it's a capital intensive program. I put no fertilizer on this land right here in about 6 years. No fertilizer, okay? No sprays ever. Never had any kind of herbicide ever out here. And just for a perfect example, you see this nice green patch right in here? This was bare soil last year. This whole ridge right here was absolutely bare last year at this time. So if that's any kind of testament to what unrolling these hay bales with that Greg Judy bale roller has done to regenerate this farm, I mean, that is the best testament. The proof's in the pudding, and that's the pudding. And the big fat cows are the pudding. So, well, guys, I want to take you out this morning. It's a beautiful day here on the farm. I am going to run over and I'm going to follow that cow around, that young steer, and check his foot and see if I can get a better look at his foot If you guys know of a dart, I don't want to say gun, a darting device that I could dart the cow with and get him down, kind of sedate him and check that foot. If it's just a piece of trash in there, I'm going to actually call my vet tomorrow morning. If it's just a little piece of trash in between his toes, you know, the cow's hoof is like this and the little trash is right there in his hoof. So it may just come out on its own, or I may just need to get him in the working pens. So guys, thanks a lot for joining me here on the Stoney Ridge Farm this morning. Happy Sunday. I hope you have a blessed day and a blessed week. We'll see you tomorrow when we get out here and move the cows again. Pray for rain. We need some rain here. Definitely. Guys, take care. Have a wonderful day. All right.